welcome everybody to episode 211 of The Real China Show.
It's the China Show for the algorithm.
Yes, it's the China Show.
Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today in this wonderful episode.
A lot. Okay, so we're just going to saunter right into it with what's new. This is where we talk about what's new in China. And the first thing is, we've been showing you for the past couple of weeks these horrific scenes of these queues up of mountains and stuff, right? Yep. Where people are spending the entire day at a tourist site, just jam-packed in queues. And this is because domestic tourism in China has, how do we say? Soared.
Apparently.
But it's kind of like that every year, to be honest.
No, well, here's the deal. If you compare pre-COVID numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's actually even up above, I guess, 2019 numbers. But here's the deal: when people were interviewing people in China that do tourism, they're finding that more people are, they've been cooped up for years with lockdown and stuff, right? Yeah. They're going out and doing discount tours. Yes. So they're going to try to find package deals and all that kind of stuff, and go on like C-Trip or whatever the heck the websites are, and they go and find like the cheapest flights or the cheapest train tickets, and they go to the cheapest locations, try to find discount package deals. Yeah. And that's because people, like I said, have been cooped up for so long, they still want to get out, right? So you have middle class and upper class people that are traveling. However, we have seen a massive downtick in international tourism, which is wild. Which is strange. Yeah, if you watch Chinese propaganda right now, they're making it look like everyone in the entire world is like scrambling to get in access to China, to travel around China, and they've removed a lot of visa restrictions so that people can go without visas and they can just go there as a tourist, and that is just not panning out. It's at an all-time low. Well,
there's a reason why I was fooled by this too, is because we've seen a slew of these, wow, China's not what I expected, these travel vloggers that go there. And that's because they've been incentivized to go. It's very, very obvious because we used to get these offers all the time.
Yes.
Like come and see whichever area, let's say Hainan. Come and look at Sanya. We're going to pay for your trip, your flights. We're going to pay for your meals, your accommodation. You just have to film as if it's your own thing and put it on your own channel. So when you see basically the same video coming out from a whole bunch of travel vloggers where it's like, China is not what I expected. And the next one is, China is not what I expected. Or
I'm going to the
next one.
Hated country.
Yeah, next one. China is not what we expected. So when you've got all these things that are exactly the same, it's kind of a put-on thing. And when they all come out, all of a sudden you're like, oh, there must be a lot of foreigners going to China to travel. But the statistics don't bear that out. In fact, it's way lower than before COVID.
Yeah, so a way to segue this into what we're actually talking about today. You may have seen in the thumbnail, we're talking about washing things in toilets.
Oh, yeah, we are. But, whoops, sorry, give me a second. I'm just clicking on the wrong things here. We're good. I wanted to also bring up the fact that domestic tourism is soaring, like you said, but it's only because tourist packages like for tourism are cheap. It's like Groupon deals. Because businesses and tour companies and so on, they're worried that people can't afford to travel anymore, so they're dropping their prices like 60%. Yeah. And that's why you're getting so much travel, because people are like, hey, we can't afford to travel, but then deals come along and they're like, oh, that's cheap, let's go. So tourism revenue, you may have more people coming to a place, but they're actually earning less.
Yeah, the country is, in the articles and stuff you'll read, and they're linked below, they're saying like because of the uncertain economy, people are not comfortable to spend money. Right?
Yeah.
They still want to go get a deal.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to, let me get this clip out of here for a second. I wanted to put up a clip here. I just got to find it on the desktop, see where it turns up. Here it is. Okay. That isn't correct. Excuse that. I got to open it up with a different thing. Give me 1 second here.
This is the clip you've all been waiting for.
Well, it's not the one you've all been waiting for, but this is something.
Well, I think some people. I'm the one that was following the chat.
Oh, okay. People have been waiting for this clip? Okay. Well, sorry for the weird format. I'll get us down in the corner here. There we go. So this is a clip that's recently been circulating on the Chinese internet and on the internet in general of a guy washing vegetables in a squat toilet, presumably at a restaurant. And the reason that we're not shocked by this is something that we've both seen with our own eyes in China. This is something that does happen. And you may be thinking, like, that's horrible. Like, why would that happen?
Sorry for the volume.
Yeah. I muted it.
They heard it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay, weird. Anyway, Was that very loud?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It's muted
Sorry,
though.
guys. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah, maybe for a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the fact of the matter is this is something that happens. It's not a one-off. You often see shortcuts taken when it comes to the preparation of meals in China.
This is actually called dual-purpose technology.
Yes, dual-purpose technology. Look, you've got running water. You need to clean your vegetables and your pork or whatever. May as well just do it there. You know, somebody else is busy with the sink, or many times the kitchen doesn't even have a sink. You need to wash the vegetables. Now, a lot of the times you... Yeah, exactly. That's what it says.
It says a different flavor on the top.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. You don't normally see this because the washing of the vegetables and the prep of the food for the restaurant happens before the restaurant opens for, you know, dinner or for the lunch or whatever. So you normally don't see it.
The real question is, why the hell is this being filmed?
Yeah, I know. That is a good question. The thing is, I specifically remember sitting at a barbecue restaurant that I used to go to all the time.
Yeah.
And I actually went in to go to the toilet. And as I went and I opened the toilet door, there was somebody exactly the same, washing the vegetables that I was eating in the toilet.
Seen it myself as well.
The toilet that I was about to go take a leak in, and which I did after they were finished.
Yeah. Piss vegetables.
It's not
piss veggies.
Hygienic, right?
So hold on.
Yeah.
You've missed so many elements of this video.
Sure.
What else do you know? This is almost like a find the hidden picture. What else is weird here?
Well, he's got one sock on and one sock off.
So why the one sock?
I don't know.
There's a lot of things.
At least he's got like his toilet plunger and mops and stuff.
So that's what's important is maybe people are like, oh, this is just a disused toilet. You know, it's just like a pit toilet.
Yeah.
You can use if you've never peed or pooped in it, you could use it as a sink technically, right?
Sure.
But there's a plunger.
It's an inconvenient sink.
There's a
you know, look at the like staining.
Inconvenient truth.
Yeah, exactly. It is staining on the floor from probably urine or something. It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, just in case you thought this was a one-off, let me bring back our proper materials.
Well, yeah. So let me get into something here.
Okay.
So there was a story back in 2020, right? Can you pop this up?
Yeah.
Oh, we're up. Back in 2020, where the internet took notice of this. And I would like to set up why this is become such I think, a great look at the dichotomy of China.
Sure.
You have a subset of people from the countryside that do go to cities to make restaurants and stuff that think it's perfectly acceptable to wash stuff in the toilet.
I'd say 90% of China that I've been through, you know, people wouldn't really bat an eyelid to see something being cleaned in an unhygienic environment.
They wouldn't do it necessarily, but to see it
like
cleaned in an unhygienic.
Cleaning in a urinal here. This is what made that news article, by the way.
Yes.
This dude.
So what you have here is you have city people who have no clue of how their food is being prepared. They have not been to the countryside, these privileged people, right? They don't know that this is being done. So then they see a clip of it online and they go ape. They go like, what the hell?
Well, I mean, the thing is, watch this one. I want you to see this one. See this lovely like pit toilet, you know, type disgust. There's the dude washing the vegetables in that muck and filth. You know, he's washing the vegetables there. Now, guys.
It's a problem.
These vegetables being washed in toilets, where are they going to end up? Number one, at the wet markets. You know, when you find those lovely, and a lot of foreigners, when they move to China, myself included, you're like, oh, it's so good. People here, they want to eat fresh vegetables. They don't normally keep a lot of refrigerated stuff. Some people don't have refrigerators in their house. They go every day to the market. They get their fresh vegetables. They get their fresh meat, and then they go cook that for the day, right? Those vegetables that you're buying off the stall, this is where they were before you bought them. Because, you know, the dude has to wash them to put them there to present them, right?
Or in an equally unhygienic place.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the toilet.
Not necessarily in the toilet, but hey, it's free running water. That dude's going to go sell this stuff. Why not, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty gross. Or it's on your plate in the restaurant too. You know, not necessarily in the toilet, but in an unhygienic place. This guy is cleaning out a intestine.
Doesn't this look like a snake?
It does.
Look at the tail.
Yeah, but look, he's doing it in on the toilet floor. So he's cleaning it out before he eats it. I got to tell you something, man. Like, I don't like eating intestines anyway.
I love it.
It's
One of my faves.
I know, but you know all that shit's gone through it.
Yeah, but it's clean.
For its entire life. It's literally a shit tube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great.
Okay.
I love it.
To each their own.
It's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, like here, just to show you how normal this is. This is in a bathroom, and here the worker is cleaning it in the sink where the mop and all that gets washed.
Yeah.
Down there. You can see the mops in there. This is that bathroom, okay? So the guy's in the restaurant, he's in the He's gone to the bathroom in the restaurant. As he's walking out, spots the lady cleaning the vegetables. Here she is in the sink where the mop that cleans that bathroom floor is, you see?
Yeah.
And that's how common it is that they don't feel like it's a problem, to clean in front of a customer. Oh, there's a customer in the bathroom. Doesn't matter. Let's go clean this. It's no big deal, right?
That's the one thing I wanted to highlight, though, is there's a reason the customer's filming that. He's aghast.
Yeah,
and
he
doesn't think anything of it, right?
Yeah.
There's this duality in China of the city and the countryside that people do not understand each other's lives.
Yes, correct. So just to kind of normalize this a little bit, because, look, washing stuff in the toilet, we've actually shown it before on the show, like that other guy washing in a different urinal. It's
made the news in China for a reason. It happens a lot.
And this is different places all over China, by the way. It's not one province or one area that does this. It's
nationwide.
So Yoderin all over the country type thing. You're not going to find that one province does it more than another or something. It's just... whatever. So I thought, let's be realistic about this and just bring it back down to like a level of stuff. So here's stuff that I filmed myself. I love Chinese street food. Yeah. Okay. Always have. You've had a lot of trouble with Chinese street food. Maybe you can explain.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years in China, I had severe diarrhea issues over and over. And actually, the vast majority of foreigners that move to China do. Huge issues with that. And that's just because of the amount of bacteria on the foods. It's as simple as that. It doesn't get any more complicated.
No.
The food hygiene is 10 steps down probably from where you're from.
Yeah.
And it hasn't improved. From my time in China in the beginning to the end, it was bad unless you spend way more money.
Yes.
Right. You can spend way more money and have hot food that was packaged or something, right?
Yes.
But if you're going to your average place that the average person goes to, the food hygiene is still abysmal.
Yes.
It's truly bad.
So now there's something I did as just a thought experiment. I was going through the B-roll library that we have, and these particular scenes that you see here that I filmed during the daytime before going to sit down and have this. Behind these restaurants, I filmed what's going on. Okay? So, for instance, this is where the vegetables and stuff were being prepared. Just to give you a quick idea, look at the floor, look at the conditions. This is the one restaurant that we just seen. This is where they're preparing this stuff, on the filthy floor outside, okay? Just to give you an idea. This is where you normally buy vegetables, by the way. It's just,
side of the road or on a wet market.
Or at a wet market, which I have footage that we filmed together, actually, this footage over here. Yeah. You can see, look, the vegetables are there. This is what the farmers have planted. That could have been washed in a urinal. That could have been washed anywhere, but that's where you're getting it from. Right. And this is one of my favorites, is the open meat markets that you get. Yeah. Okay, this is the guy. Take a look at this guy selling some meat.
Real sausage fest in here. Real meat market.
Yeah, it's a meat market. Look at the guy in the background there, because you're going to see him in a minute, right?
I like this. He's a character.
Yeah, so he's a meat seller.
He's very ham-fisted.
Yes, he is. Let's pay attention to the customers, okay? Remember, we filmed this ourselves.
Yes.
So this customer, he's wearing like a professor jacket, isn't he?
He is.
He's got the patches.
He's looking good.
Yeah. Watch what he does with the meat, because this is common. He selects the meat that he wants, and then he's like, actually, that piece, nah, I don't want that. That's throws it back down. Yeah. Lots of hands-on going over here. Watch what happens. Him and his wife both touching and feeling the meat to see if it's the right meat for what they want. And he actually takes one that he chose back out, fiddles with it, throws it back down. And that's what happens.
I also want people to notice how little meat they bought.
Yeah.
They're not buying
No, they're just like,
15
this.
ounces,
I want this little piece.
They chop it up little and put it in the vegetables.
Yeah. But it's just to demonstrate. The next person that comes along is going to buy his fiddled meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just what you do in the countryside,
Yeah. So anyway, I showed you actually... I
like these dudes.
Yeah, they're cool. I wanted to show you this. This guy's selling chicken. Right. Actually, really nice. I bought chicken from him. It was delicious. And, I love street food. Yeah. Behind his stall, I filmed in the day the guys who sell the chickens. They're nice, friendly dudes. They're just sitting around. They got the chickens there. And we've seen what these chickens eat. They eat styrofoam and oil and whatever else off the ground.
There was one time. So there's chickens that are sold as free range in China. And that just means they were allowed to
walk around,
which is everywhere.
It's actually worse.
So we were at a stoplight one day.
Yeah.
And let me paint a picture for you. We were tired. We were on a motorcycle trip.
Yes.
And we were waiting for this stoplight. It was taking forever. And we just looked down and there's chickens as usual.
Yeah.
And they're on the side of the road. And they're standing in a puddle of engine oil.
Yes.
and in the engine oil were wrappers, cigarette butts, and all kinds of other oils that had different viscosities. Yes. And then at the same time, they were eating destroyed, like exploded styrofoam.
Yeah, you know when you like break styrofoam, it has those little bubbles and stuff
everywhere.
in it. Yeah, they were eating that in the oil.
And we were like, and it was right outside of chicken restaurant.
Yes,
that was the whole point.
Yeah, like a free range chicken.
And we were like, this is restaurant is priding itself on selling engine oil styrofoam chicken.
Yeah, it's not microplastics, it's macroplastics. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, just put it into perspective. We didn't change anything about our lives, but at the same time, we were looking at our life and we are like, what have we done?
Exactly. So again, this filmed in the exact same area, because this was all in one sort of area that I filmed all of these particular things. In Shenzhen, first tier city, by the way. So this is not in the boonies. You know?
This is first
This
tier.
is the top
Middle
of the pops.
of the first tiers.
Yeah, it's this. I'd say it's the second because it's got the stock exchange.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
bet
it's
you're
next
in the middle
to,
of
oh
the
yeah, in the
city.
middle of So it's a massive city. It's top of the pops. It's a little bit out of the center of the city, granted, but you know, here we are, and they're selling like fresh oysters. Okay, which by the way, are very well presented. I'll show you now. They look nice. They add a whole lot of garlic.
I love that. This is where we just differ.
I can't stand it, but I
love the
realize
garlic.
they do that to disguise the unfreshness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also because it tastes good to people that like garlic.
I mean, if you want to eat garlic, just eat garlic. Why put it
I
on
love
something else?
I just love it.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. I want to pull the audience.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of garlic or no?
Do you like so much garlic that it's the only flavor characteristic of the item you're eating? Oh.
Lots of garlic is like, I mean, a pile.
It's like
lots of garlic
only
or no?
garlic, basically.
No,
I bet you I could
got
trick
food.
you. I could trick you because I could take an oyster shell and just take that garlic mix and throw it in there with like some piece of jelly or something that kind of has the same consistency. I'd trick you. I would.
You don't eat seafood, so you wouldn't. You don't know.
It's easy enough. Just make it a little rotten and have that seafood, you know, fishy taste or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Guys, vote. Lots of garlic or no?
I went behind where they sell the oysters. Okay, the little village behind the street food area. This is all in the same area.
Yeah.
And this is where they prepare them. Okay, they're doing the oyster shucking over here. So what they do is they obviously chop it all up, and you know, look at the state of the floor, and they're doing it on the floor, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
It's all prepared on the floor. Okay, and that's what you're eating. It's not some sterile kitchen nice thing that's going on there. It's a muddy concrete and tile floor that you're doing your stuff. Yeah. Again, same area. Went out to go have something to eat here. Loved eating here. It's one of my favorite places to chill out. Okay.
Yeah.
Love the vibe. This is one of the vegetable dishes that I ordered. Yeah.
I love Kongshinsai.
Awesome.
It's like a watercress.
Yeah, it's nice. It complements the
Morning
meal.
glory.
Yeah. Good food. Chinese food is awesome, by the way.
Yes, the best. One of the best.
Yeah. Just make sure you get it prepared in a cleanly environment.
Yeah.
So anyway, turns out behind this restaurant thing, you were with me here at this particular time.
We did this first and then ate there.
Yes.
For
whatever reason.
we care.
Yeah, exactly. So there's
We're bitching about it. We're like, here's what we did.
Yeah. This is filthy alley. Okay, there's me walking down. You can see in the distance there's a woman sitting down, and I filmed what she was doing. She was preparing the vegetables in this alley. So I mean, you know, on the concrete floor, there's those are the vegetables you're going to end up eating. Sure. You know, it's just in a filthy alley. And just to let you know that the level of hygiene when it comes to, you know, food in China it's pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back to that quickly because I just want to make a point here. When you see them washing stuff in a toilet, it's not so far of a stretch away from what's happening in these other scenes, is it?
Yeah.
You know, it's running water. You got to use it. If you're not going to clean it on the floor, cleaning it in the toilets, kind of, you know, it's worse. It's a worse optics, but in the grand scheme of things, is it really that much worse?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some just horrific preparation. And again, this duality. There is such ignorance in China of their own country amongst educated and wealthy people that they don't see this part of it. And
you can live
how
in
a lot of the country lives.
Yeah, if you live in Shanghai, you probably don't think this exists. No. You meet people in Shanghai that like, oh, Chinese people don't eat dog.
And you're like, dude, what are you talking about?
There's a freaking dog meat restaurant around the corner in your own city.
Yeah. They can't read the
sign. They just don't go to that part.
The poll is over.
Okay.
1,150 votes. Lots of garlic? Yes, 69% no, 31%.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's good to be in the minority, you know what I mean?
I want to be the minority.
You know, I was a minority my whole life.
You were?
Yeah. So that
I didn't
cool.
say it was bad to be in the minority of that, but I did want to prove that people do like garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot.
Oh, of course they do. I know they do. But I mean, I get that. I like garlic in in moderation. But like when it comes to chiedza or that stuff, it's only garlic.
Chiedza is eggplant, and I will admit that is literally all.
It's
garlic.
just only garlic.
I love it.
And I
It's
feel
like
like,
OnlyFans.
dude, I really do think I could trick you with that one because all I need is a chiedza peel, and I just put that garlic crap in there with
You still
maybe
get
some
a little of the meat.
Yeah, but I'll put some mashed potato or something instead. Like I could put an analog, and you wouldn't be able to tell that it was eggplant.
Yeah,
You know,
I guess.
maybe
Is there
some-
anything that's analog to eggplant?
Yeah, like a
texture?
gem squash or something.
Maybe a
or,
squash.
You know, something.
Yeah.
Put a little, just it has to be a little stringy.
Yeah.
Throw some little stringy stuff, and you'd be like, best eggplant ever. Same with the oyster.
improved
You
it.
could huck a loogie in there and just cover it with that.
Stop.
You'd be
You
like,
just hate seafood.
yummy. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let's get past that. Before we continue, guys, with the rest of our show,
Yes.
we have to give you a word from today's sponsor, which is actually healthy, not in comparison to what we've just seen. This is very unhealthy. By the way, PSA, when you eat street food in China, and even when you eat from restaurants, just know that where the food is prepared is probably not hygienic.
Right.
Okay, just know that. You have
And you
to
will
know
get
it.
sick, and so do all. I forgot. This is the last thing I want to close with.
Yeah.
Chinese people get sick too. You don't just get used to this.
No.
It's very common in public conversation to tell the other person
Oh, I got
that you have,
laduzi.
you have diarrhea.
Yeah. Hot tummy.
Your
That's what it is, right? Spicy tummy.
Spicy tummy.
Yeah.
You can say that to a coworker or to your boss or something.
Yeah.
It's not weird. It's not personal.
Yeah.
It's so normal.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, 现在有拉肚子啊.
Yeah. And they're like,
拉肚子呀.
what did you eat?
Yeah, it's like,肚子好痛, 拉肚子. And they're like, oh, you went for barbecue last night. And they're like, 生活了, whatever. That's how it goes.
Anyway.
So yes, if you're in China, just be aware.
Now for our sponsor.
Yes, not this lady cleaning vegetables in an alley.
Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. That's why for the last 2 years, we've been drinking AG1 every day, no exceptions. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day. And it makes me feel energized, focused, nourished. And that's because of the one serving of AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more. It's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. One thing we noticed was that, at least for me, energy levels were so low and I was feeling so crap that before I started drinking AG1, after work, I just didn't have energy to do anything with my kids or my wife or anything. I just want to slump on the couch. After AG1, I've noticed the spike of energy is there. There is no more of this crash has come down after work. I'm ready to go until I want to go to bed. It's awesome.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I always wanted to wrench on cars,
Yep.
or I got a little watchmaking hobby, and I had a bunch of projects open, and I just wasn't finishing anything because I just would pass out.
Yep. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate our health, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Yep. Thank you once again to AG1 for sponsoring this video. We appreciate it very much, and it's a product we stand behind, and we both take it, and we both love it. Awesome. So now it's time for us to get back onto the show. I guess we're moving into Soft Power Hour, are we?
No.
No, we're still in What's New. Okay, so something that we're not going to cover extensively yet, because it seems to happen every year in China around this time, are the massive floods. So let's bring that up. Right now, this was taken, 2 days ago in Guangxi province. Oh, that's loud. I'll bring that down. Yeah. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. They had like 80 centimeters or whatever it is, or millimeters, sorry, in an hour.
Yeah.
And we just want to bring it back and tell everyone that flooding is a huge issue in China for a number of reasons. Bad planning from the government where they diverted waters where they shouldn't go. They dammed up places that shouldn't be dammed up. And remember, this was back in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s when they didn't really know what they were doing. It was Mao Zedong's like, let's create dams because that's what a country does.
Dams.
Yeah. So it really diverted waters into the wrong places. And so it's really had a negative impact on people. Number two is the bad drainage. And bad drainage is it's almost like a prerequisite for a Chinese city is to have bad drainage. When they plan it out, they're like, drains? No.
Well, that's what they find, fake drains.
Yeah, they're like...
Literally. We have video of that.
Exactly.
They pull up the grate and it's just land.
Blank. Yes, exactly. So yes, drainage is a problem. So anyway, we have been seeing major floods. Yeah. And like I said, we're not going to cover it in this episode because it's the usual destruction and horrible. We got a lot of footage, but
80 centimeters of rain. But
centimeters. Sorry, 80 millimeters centimeters. But that was in an hour.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, in an hour, 60 to 80 centimeters in an hour or something.
What?
Yeah, some ridiculous thing like that.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it's pretty bad. Anyway, moving on from the floods, I wanted to talk about my favorite. In my opinion, wait for it.
I feel like it's got to be 80 millimeters if it was in an hour.
Yeah, then it maybe is 80 meters. Just check it out, Guangxi. Yeah. I wanted to talk again about what's, in my opinion, the dirty, thief, cheap knockoff Porsche that the Xiaomi made, Millet. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up again. It seems like I bring it up every week, but there's a reason I'm bringing it up again because it's kind of relevant. This post has been going around now in China. There was another, there have been a lot of high-profile crashes. I did want to give credit where credit's due here, okay? This time the airbags went off, okay? But they had a fairly minor crash and the wheel went flying off. Okay. But here's the important thing. See, according to this post, they looked at the official insurance figures. Because, look, in China, sales figures are not reliable because the companies do all sorts of tricks, like buy the cars themselves, do all sorts of weird things, export cars without registering them, things like that, and say, hey, look, we sold a lot. But insurance figures are generally quite reliable because when people insure the car, it goes into a public database of the insurance company. The insurance company will say, okay, we've got, say, 10,000 of these Xiaomis registered. And you can also see how many insurance claims. So based on the insurance figures, of the cars, the thousands of these Xiaomi cars, these knockoff, in my opinion, knockoff Porsche Xiaomis that they've sold, 20% have been in accidents. What are you looking at?
Nothing. I was 80 millimeters.
80 millimeters. So I was right.
You're right.
So 80 millimeters in an hour.
Didn't know it was in an hour.
Yeah, in an hour. So anyway, 20% of the cars sold, according to this post that's been going around, and according to the insurance figures, 20% of those cars have been in accidents or failed and had insurance claims against them. That is a very bad failure rate. If you've got like a couple of percent failure rate, that's acceptable. But 20%? Okay.
Yikes.
And I mean, I can believe it because look at all these little
social media posts in China.
Yep. Social media posts of them being crashed and breaking down or what have you. And I see these things crashing every day on my social media. I see, so yeah, it's not turning out that well. Yeah. If that's correct, if that post is correct, think about it. Imagine Toyota releases a new model and 20% of them end up being insurance claimed because of crashes and fires and breaking down and stuff. That's huge.
Rough. That's rough. But in China, you cover it up.
Yeah, you can cover it up. Anyway, so
it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist.
No, it just doesn't exist. Buy Chinese EVs; they're great.
What do we got Slapaganda today?
Well, Slapaganda, this is my favorite segment of the show, and today's Slapaganda is going to take us into a wonderland.
You know what? I'm feeling like a champion right now.
Yeah, me too. Can't wait. So. We love Slapaganda. You
have to set this up really well because if you're not ready, you're going to be like, what are they talking about?
So basically, the Chinese government and Chinese state media, they love to get foreigners to do like a random showcase of something that they think is important. Yeah. Okay.
That's key.
Exactly.
That's key.
So they'll be like, oh, we're developing something here. And we want everyone to think it's important. Let's get a random foreigner to come here and like look at the factory and say like, wow, China's great.
So picture CCP bosses, Chinese Communist Party bosses. There's a really important boss that just did this project. Mm-hmm. And to impress him, and that's literally what this is. Think of North Korean style, like bowing down to Kim Jong-un. To impress him, they're like, let's go get a foreigner and do a puff piece about his new project. And then he'll be so proud.
Exactly.
Right? That's what it is.
So let's take a look.
Face.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a look. I'm going to bring the volume back up to 100%, and hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, let's watch. Slapaganda.
Hello everyone, I'm Jüri from Morocco. Today I'm visiting the Ningdong Energy and Chemical Industry Base in northwest China's Ningxia.
Visiting one of China's energy and chemical industrial bases? Truly something to cherish, enjoy, add it to your bucket list.
Here, modern coal chemical technology possesses a magical power, transforming buried coal underground into products such as polypropylene, polyethylene, and more.
The magical power of coal chemical technology.
Coal chemical technology possesses a magical power, transforming buried coal underground into products such as polypropylene, polyethylene, and more.
Okay, before we even continue with this.
They made a video on state media for you in English speakers.
Yes, for
this
English.
Is not, They originally brought the foreigner in there to impress the CCP boss, but this is made for you.
This is Xinhua, massive top-level state media.
Because the propaganda bureau at Xinhua thought that this would impress you, turning coal into chemical energy.
Yeah.
And they sent someone there to go look at a chemical plant.
I know. What? It's a chemical industrial zone of
Number
whatever.
8.
Yeah. Who wants to go there?
Hey, honey, you want to go to Hawaii this year? No, honey, I just got a Groupon.
Yeah.
I figured we take the family to Ningxia Industrial Chemical Plant number 8.
Before we even get into the rest of this, can you notice a few things, okay? Look at the sky. Yeah. It's horrible. You cannot hide how horrible
I've been here.
Is.
I love Ningxia. It's one of my favorite places in China. It was very polluted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at the ground. There's, whatever this little, sidewalk thing or whatever they've got there where there's probably supposed to be like foliage or grass. It's just dirt, which has now gone onto the road. And the road has dirt and mud on it. And this is what they're trying to sell to you.
They are.
Chemical plant zone. Yes, that was a good one. I like that. It's one of my favorite things ever.
It's a bop.
Yeah. Anyway, and I love the way that she goes on about this coal chemical technology has magical powers.
4chan Research Division, do not sing radioactive. There's no Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's carry on to see what happens because it's fascinating. What's she going to find in this place?
Even the transformation from darkness to brightness. Are you curious how this happened? Come with me.
I'm curious.
Yes.
Thank you.
经过我们煤化工处理，两种主原料呢， 通过一系列的化学反应生成我们的氨纶丝。
Let me show you how the spandex threads looks like. Here we have different thickness of spandex threads. Here a little bit thicker, and see the elasticity. And this one is very, very thin.
Okay, this is This is fascinating. Look, I want to show you the spandex threads. This one is thicker, and this one is thin. Do you know that? Did you know that? Isn't it fascinating?
This went from industrial chemical plant facility to look at the spandex.
Yeah, and it's look at like, this is amazing. It's like saying, look at these two different cans.
Yeah.
This one is heavier than this one. It's, it's so dumb. Like, this is state media.
Spent thousands of dollars to make this video.
They flew her out there. Did this whole
to talk
thing
about spandex to get 100
to
views.
say like, oh look, this one is thinner than this one. That's thicker.
Yeah,
interesting.
We're teaching. Think about this.
Yeah,
we're teaching more people about spandex than this video did. We're showing more people.
Exactly. Anyway, so let's rewind a bit. Let's let her finish her little spiel here.
Sorry.
It looks like. Here we have different thickness of spandex threads. Here a little bit thicker, and see the elasticity. And this one is very, very thin, even thinner than my hair. These spandex threads are used in different products.
Really?
For example, this chest expander.
Aren't those supposed to be metal?
I feel like a spandex chest expander is going to be so weak. Surely
that's what you think.
I mean, I always have like metal springs.
You obviously haven't used the spandex from the Ningxia chemical plant facility number 8. All right.
Exactly. But I mean,
Still
look,
different.
she could do it just like this with no effort. That's not going to help at all. That's kind of a useless product. I like how she's like, these spandex of different sizes can be used in different products.
Wow.
You sure about that? Ooh, yeah, let's see. Let's take a look.
And here we can use it in swimsuits. But more incredible is that the spandex threads used also in children's products, for example, children's diapers, and these good, high quality children's clothes. So unbelievable.
So unbelievable. What's a japper? I don't know.
Here we go.
Yeah.
She starts with like this chest expander thing,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to. It seems like if I was going to shoot the video, I'd make it build up to something cool.
Yeah.
She goes, "What's perhaps the most
Yeah, it's like even
unbelievable
incredible.
thing? Sit down.
Yeah.
Get something cold.
Yeah.
Brace yourself." Children's products.
Yes,
You won't believe it.
like
Jappers.
children's jappers, you know? It's like, holy crap, that's really fascinating. But according to her, as you can see, it's so unbelievable that they could make high-quality
It's
clothes.
Unbelievable these jappers can be made out of this.
Whew, yeah, okay.
I hate when I have to change jappers, by the way.
Me too, me too. All right, let's play that little bit over here one more time.
But more incredible is that the spandex threads used also in children's products, for example, children's diapers, and these good, high quality children's clothes. So unbelievable.
Incredible spandex. This new invention that China's so proud of somehow has been around and in use for decades.
More incredible children's diapers. So unbelievable. At the Ningdong Energy chemical base, coal undergoes a series of complex chemical processes to become a crucial source of raw materials for synthetic fiber materials. By accelerating the cultivation of new productive forces.
The term new quality productive forces.
Of new productive forces.
New quality productive forces.
Of new productive forces.
New quality productive forces.
Of new productive forces.
Nice.
So, I did a quick little AQI of the surrounding area near where she was. 444 hazardous.
What a number! They had to give us our favorite number. That's
Yeah.
a psyop, dude.
Yeah.
They changed the AQI to freak us out.
Exactly. So just to let you know that in that surrounding area, there were some ones that were better at about 198 thereabouts, but it's still very bad for your health.
Sure.
So this beautiful technology of spandex and stuff that she's been showing us, well,
I don't know how green it is.
it's not green, that's for sure. And now we know why this was made, by the way.
Yeah.
The entire purpose of this video was for her to use this new terminology.
And she got it wrong.
She got it wrong. Let's take a look.
Of raw materials for synthetic fiber materials. By accelerating the cultivation of new productive forces.
It's supposed to be new quality productive
Yes,
forces.
she screwed up.
It's literally a Xi Jinping quote.
Yeah.
New quality
So
productive
new
forces.
productive forces.
Yes.
Didn't we call this? We showed this to you last week with the Shiktionary nonsense where it's like they have to make this thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you this. New productive forces are being used to turn coal into spandex.
Well, and then into jappers.
Yeah, and then jappers. But the whole point is, right? New productive forces for something that was invented in the 50s, by the way. Spandex comes from the 50s.
From DuPont.
Yeah. There's nothing new about it.
No, it's American.
Yeah. This is new knockoff forces. Yes. What is this?
new low quality japper forces.
Absolutely. And, you know, the fact that they're destroying the environment in the area, which you can see if you go to the AQI thing, is not indicative of this being a good thing. It's not quality. It's not new.
I love how this was a huge, elaborate effort just to use Xi Jinping's quote.
Yeah. The entire thing was just so that she could use that new productive forces thing.
Maybe they took out quality because they didn't want to sully the new quality productive forces Xi Jinping quote with jappers.
Yeah, I mean, I think she just, you know, made a mistake in the script read, to be honest.
Probably.
You know, maybe it was a language barrier
or
thing.
the minder got it wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. Somebody's heads will roll. Yeah. As you can see, Xi Jinping wasn't happy about that. He had to get Servant Rick to come and correct her.
The term new quality productive forces.
Of new productive forces.
New quality productive forces.
Of new productive forces.
New quality productive forces.
Of new productive forces.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway.
I love the hazardous man with his
it's like the tongue is sticking out. That's
and it's
so funny.
444. Which, by the way, if you're new here, 4 is very bad lore in the China show.
And just in China, it's a bad number. It means death.
It means death. And we've been psyoped from living in China so long that we hate the number 4 too.
Absolutely.
And so this literally means death, death, death.
Yeah.
Hazardous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Put on your jumpers. We're going on to the next segment.
Yes. Okay. Good stuff. All right.
Strap your jumpers.
Yeah. So we're doing our next. This is your favorite segment.
Yes.
Okay. Which you prepared today, as you normally do. And what is it called?
This is called Beyond the Great Firewall. This is where we take you inside the Chinese internet for stuff that they show domestic audiences in China that they don't want the rest of the world to see.
Correct.
So stuff that's really hot blowing up in China. Today was a fantastic opportunity for you to see something very special. It's the idea that China will take something that it wants to do, a goal that it wants to further, right?
Sure.
And the current goal right now is that China's influence is spreading around the world in a positive way. And Americans and foreigners in general around the world are lapping up Chinese culture and the Chinese identity, and they themselves want to become Chinese, and they worship China, and they most of all respect the Chinese government, right? Now they know if they were to ever put something like this out in the West, people would just laugh and be like, "What are you?"
Well,
are
I
you
mean,
high?
the polls are very evident
Yes.
that right now China's seen very unfavorably.
70-something or 80-something percent disapproval rating for China in America, right? But for Chinese people, what they can do is they can put together videos of clips completely out of context and misrepresented clips to make it seem like it, right? So I found this viral video going around in China.
Yeah.
And just to set it up for you, you know how China's trying to not allow TikTok to be banned?
Yeah.
Right? So right now, they're trying to tell their people that these Americans that really love TikTok, right? They love TikTok, and they're so mad at their government it's going to ban TikTok, right?
Sure.
So it's making them go crazy. It's making them go crazy. In fact, they're even studying the ideology of communist China. They're trying to become like us because they don't want TikTok to go away, right? And China's influence is so strong. And you know what's funny? A lot of these clips you're going to see are parody clips of people when the TikTok ban was announced, right? They would grab like a Mao statue or something, and they'd be like, oh, I love China. Please don't ban TikTok. I love China, right? It's just a joke, right? They're singing the Chinese national anthem, and they took it seriously.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
True.
Watch this.
So they took mockery and they actually turned it into something.
So I translated this.
Okay,
so you guys
I'll
can
get us
enjoy
out of here. Let's take a look. I haven't seen this yet.
自从美国要封禁 TikTok， 老外的精神状态是越来越红。读的书是《共产党宣言》，放的摆件是我们伟大的领袖。评论区还
Pause it quickly. It's too loud. It's way too loud. Sorry, guys. I only noticed. What's up with the mixing today?
I don't know.
Okay, let's. We probably just hurt a lot of people's ears.
Sorry, guys. Was that your frappe?
It's pretty bad.
Okay, so it says since the USA wants, for all you listeners, since the USA wants to ban TikTok.
要封禁 TikTok， 老外的精神
Observing the psychosis of foreigners is popular.
Okay, observing the psychosis of
状态是越来越红。读的书是
They are reading the Communist Manifesto. I see all these out of context clips.
Yeah.
共产党宣言，放的摆件是我。
They're using statues of our great leaders.
You know, that kind of looks like, at Easter you get a chocolate-covered bunny.
It does.
Like with gold,
Mao.
it's like a chocolate with foil over it. It looks like gold, or like those gold coins and it's chocolate inside.
Yes.
Does that look like that?
Oh, the volume wasn't bad.
It was bad, dude. It was.
Everyone says fine.
It was super over the red. Oh. Yeah. They're just trying to make you feel better.
Oh, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Usually I mix audio pretty well.
Not this time.
Not this time.
No.
I had low quality productive forces.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
your audio mixing's the worst.
It's pretty bad.
But that's my job.
Yeah, it's your job to fix it. Anyway, and this was your segment, so.
Yes. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Don't ruin it.
Let's continue.
我们伟大的领袖。评论区还
People are even asking where to buy the same statue in the comments.
Yeah, it's like, why do you have one of those? How much were they? Where do I get them?
They're taking this seriously.
Yeah.
This parody stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
About how China's so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people want a Mao statue.
Yeah.
在求同款，
TikTok has been full grip of the People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party.
唱的歌是社会主。
Can you get us out?
Yeah.
They're singing "Socialism is good."
Are they?
Look
at that choir.
They are not.
No.
They just took footage of a choir.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they cut to this.
主义好。
Oh, do you recognize that guy?
I think I do.
That's the guy who was like, we're not paid by the CCP. And then he comes out on stage singing like red songs. Yeah. Same guy.
Yeah.
So they took this guy who lives in China, by the way, and made his entire living off of singing communist songs on stage.
After they showed an orchestra not playing that
song.
So
they showed an orchestra that's not. And then this guy who made a living singing communist songs, this shill guy. Yeah. And then like, oh, as if this is a foreigner doing it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, do you want to read those subtitles?
Sure.
What do they even
say? Socialism is good. People of socialist countries have high status.
Oh, they do. What is this?
Some man singing group. Okay. They're singing some commie song. Mm-hmm. We're all sharpshooters. Each bullet kills an enemy. We're all flying troops, even in high mountains and deep waters.
That's so ridiculous.
This guy's like streaming or something. It says he knows the lyrics better than me. Reactionaries with high status among the people were overthrown. Imperialism ran away with its tail between its legs.
Sure it did.
You became imperial. Yes. The Communist Party is good.
Who is this guy? Looks like that crusty guy. It's probably that crusty guy.
I think so.
Maybe.
So, look at this. The clips they use, right?
Yeah.
I know what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
They're trying to make this up clip.
Yeah, you remember that it's like Pixar or something.
Pixar, right? They're trying to make it look like he's a
revolutionary, one of those.
Well, he's a little volunteer.
Yeah, a little volunteer. Yeah.
So he's doing almost the salute. In China, it's like this,
and
right?
He's wearing an almost red scarf.
Almost a red scarf, and so that's supposed to be like a volunteer, right, with a red scarf.
Mm-hmm.
It says, you've heard of developing countries. Is the world developing into China?
With random white kids clapping.
Party of the United States in 2016.
This is my membership card.
What? Communist Party USA.
Yeah.
Okay, Ian Houston, your handwriting is terrible. He needs to go to the Communist School of Handwriting. Seriously, dude.
That's
terrible.
Bro, are you 4?
It's like,
are you 4? That looks like my 4th grade journal.
It looks like it's one of those whiteboard markers you can just wipe off. Look how bad that is. Oh,
you
man.
probably wiped it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, next.
You are now known as number 69.
Yeah, exactly.
We have no names here.
Yes.
It was the day after my 18th birthday that I excitedly submitted my application to join the party. One of the top places I wished to visit was the Chairman Mao Memorial Hall, whose ideas and works inspired me to set upon this glorious path of changing our world into a better place.
Pause it there.
Yeah.
I love that they found these rando outliers. No offense, maybe these kids grew up, but just weirdos, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how many party members are there in the U.S., right? But they make it look like, if you take an anecdote of that, they love to do this. They do that with the America versus China pictures.
Yes.
All Americans are becoming like
it's like all young Americans love Chairman Mao.
You have some weirdo that joined the Communist Party of the USA and he wants to go visit China.
With terrible handwriting. I don't think that's...
another guy,
the different one. I don't think that's like a legally binding handwriting or something. If someone to look at that would be like, you're not really a Communist Party member because you can't even read this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're supposed to educate the masses, right?
I thought Communist Party people that want to join Communist Party are usually like college kids and they have pretty good education. Okay, all right. It's entirely possible. I just thought their handwriting would be better. That's all.
I think you got to be pretty dumb to join
I think you're probably right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, all right.
You need a sub 100 IQ.
Yeah, maybe sub 10. So what's going on here?
Look closely. Their eyes are shining in the light of the faith, and it's a Palestine protest, which is not related to China in any way. Do you see all these out of context things?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Revolutionary communists. See, that's just a communist flag. There's nothing to do with China.
But the world's becoming like China, apparently. Their skin is white, but their hearts are red. I love
Hang on a second. Cool. Yeah, I got it. And they got like that talk show host, whatever it's called. Why did they have like this? Their skin is white, but their hearts are red.
Is their skin white? I mean, we're talking about Americans here.
And that's
There's
also a little bit
all different colors.
Yeah, it's not only white people in America, bro.
Yeah, and the people they just showed.
Yes,
there was people of all colors.
Exactly. Their hearts are. Here's a little bit of a thing. I think most people's hearts are at least some shade of red, maybe purpley, like a little bit like.
Some commies in China, like Wu Mao in China, think that people have different color hearts.
Yeah, but like the color of blood is red, right?
Wu Mao's have black hearts. For sure.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, let's continue.
心是红的。
Flag should be your American flag.
Wait, with the frog.
He's joking.
Yeah.
But he's trying to get TikTok not banned, right?
Yeah.
So watch this clip. It's funny.
Okay, I mean, what even is that like
it's
frog
the most
mask?
on-the-nose thing you've ever seen. It's
okay.
funny.
Flag should be your American flag. What I near China.
佯装
See, it's
Yeah,
a joke.
yeah, it is. It is.
All of this is a joke.
Yeah. How about this guy?
虽然穿在身，我心依然是中国心。
Even though I'm wearing a
It's
dress.
a Chinese song from the 80s.
Okay. All right.
I 中国。
现在美国的家庭聚会娱乐项目是唱。
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. All right.
Yeah.
So they
Now at American gatherings,
they're singing communist songs, and they show people having a barbecue in their backyard without any communist songs.
Yes.
There's no communist songs here.
And how do you know that's America?
We don't. It could be.
It could be, but to me it looks more like a Mexican
Could be.
type
Could be Mexican
party.
Americans.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It doesn't matter.
It's a barbecue. They're having a lot of fun.
One
but
thing I can promise you, I would bet $1 million they're not listening to communist songs in this clip.
Absolutely. Like they would not be singing communist songs.
Because watch where they cut to.
Okay.
歌嘛。
Pause that. So they cut from a Mexican American barbecue.
Yeah.
Where they're not playing communist songs to a like church basement or something.
Now this is it's a dim sum restaurant. Look,
A dim sum restaurant,
yeah.
right? Where they're obviously having some sort of like cultural meeting.
Yes.
Right? There's some Chinese people there, some white
Yeah.
people there or whatever, and they're like, we're probably gonna we'll open with both of our national anthems or
Correct.
something like that.
Yeah.
Now this is an American gathering. They went from a Mexican American party
Yes.
to a gathering of a cultural society or something in
Yes.
a dim sum restaurant.
Correct. It's probably like if you sing this song, you'll get a discount or something. Like
No, it's definitely some like
you're
meeting.
right. It's like one of those friendship organizations
it's one
or
of those,
something like that.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and you're definitely right. And half the people are Chinese, and they're just doing like a.
It's like a polite
Yeah,
thing to do.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
"日本小哥在日本 KTV 唱红歌，
Oh wait, a Japanese guy sang communist songs at karaoke.
网友可以学习一下唱大。
The commenters told him to learn and sing the Sword March, which I'll show you the lyrics in a second.
Okay, so yeah, the Japanese guy is singing a communist song in.
He's singing 没有共产党就没有新中
Yeah,
国.
and I mean, I know Japanese. Some of my Japanese friends studied Chinese in China, and they're probably like, "Hey guys, you want to have a laugh?" And they like sing the song.
Or
Like,
whatever. Maybe you learned it for fun, right?
yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
whatever.
It's kind of like people singing the Soviet Union national anthem.
Some people know that too.
Yeah, just for fun. Yeah. So learn and sing the Sword March. Where's the
That's
Sword
what
March from?
The commenters is from China. The
It's a Chinese
commenters
song?
are impressed that he's singing this communist song, right?
Okay.
But they're telling him he should go and study the Sword March. I'll show you the lyrics.
Okay, the Sword March. Okay.
Right here.
This is the Sword March.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is about what Chinese people should do to Japan.
So they're basically saying, okay, this Japanese guy, he's
go
singing
learn
our
that.
song, but he should learn our other song, which is about killing him.
Our swords raised over the devil's heads, hack them off. The whole nation's army brethren, and our day of defense has come. The day of our defense has come. In the front, in front, the Northeast volunteers. In the rear, the populace, the entire nation. Our Chinese army valiantly advancing. See there, the enemy. Destroy them. Destroy them. Destroy the child.
Yeah.
Charge. Our swords raised over the devil's heads. Hack them off. Kill.
What a lovely
So
song.
They told him.
How come I've never heard it before?
Why didn't I have that as a soundbite?
Yeah, please make a note.
Putting notes.
Yeah, it definitely has to be a soundbite.
It's one of the best.
It is one of the best, yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
is watching now. He's like, please, hopefully they don't play the Salty Water song again. He doesn't want that segment.
He's
again.
hoping that it's gone forever. Sorry,
He's
mate.
like, shit, they're gonna turn it into a soundbite.
Absolutely,
I'm sorry,
you're
buddy.
the next.
You seem like a good.
You're the next John T.
We love him.
Yeah, exactly. We think you're a good guy too with your Salty Water song.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's next? Okay.
So this is him singing.
中国人不愧是地球干溜，走到哪里文化就传到哪里。
Okay, so hang on, wait. I
It says
missed
Chinese people. You don't have to go back. It says
Okay.
Chinese people that won't leave a bad mark in the world. Where they go, they spread their culture.
Okay.
So it's saying like we're spreading Chinese culture.
that. Okay, so now this is in Paris, right?
Yes.
Eiffel Tower.
Yes. This one got me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, is that Chinese culture?
I'm about to turn into one of those like. Okay, listen. This is my truth. All right.
Okay.
Listen to my truth right now, because that means like it's your opinion.
Sure.
Here's my opinion. I think this is ridiculous. And for some reason, this made me so mad and fly into a fit of rage.
Right.
This is actually why I included this entire clip.
Okay.
The narrator of this video is insinuating
Yes.
that corn,
Yeah.
roasting corn,
Roasted corn.
is from China. He says
that's
where
Chinese
Chinese
culture.
people go, they spread their culture. Cuts to a clip of some dudes in France roasting corn, and then the guy in the video is so impressed that they're roasting Chinese corn.
Yes.
What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah. I think you're going to find, if you look it up, corn actually comes from South America. It's a New World food.
Roasted corn is Chinese?
It's the least Chinese thing ever.
What?
It's the least Chinese thing.
I think Mexicans would like to have a word with you.
Yes, I think so.
What?
'Cause, I mean, let's go through that part again. Wherever they go, they spread their
传到
culture.
哪里？
Don't worry, guys. Under the Eiffel Tower, you can buy roasted corn. What a load of rubbish. But you know what? I did find that there is quite a lot of ignorance to the outside world when it comes to a lot of Chinese people, because that's just the environment you grow up in. And for instance, they think chili comes from Sichuan.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, chili peppers, right?
Yeah, chili peppers, which is also a New World food, also came from South America.
Yes.
And they will literally say, you foreigners can't eat spicy food all the time.
Because
Yeah.
chili peppers are from our China.
Yeah, exactly.
They will literally use those
Yeah,
words.
and they'll say like from Sichuan food,
Yeah.
you shoubliao, you
Yeah.
won't be able to handle
Yeah.
our spicy food. You foreigners can't eat spicy food. Biatch,
这不惯。
we gave that to you.
We as South Americans gave you chili peppers,
Exactly.
bro.
We were
when
like-
I was an Aztec, I cultivated and
We
sent
were
it to
rolling
China.
in chili peppers before you even thought about them,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
So, that's just the way it goes. But it is interesting how they do tend to claim things.
By the way, I wanted to give it an example. And this could be innocent too,
Sure.
right? I'm not mad at this Chinese
Yeah.
dude thinking this is Chinese, but I'm mad that the whole country believes this because they
is
haven't
viral.
learned it. Like
Yeah.
they didn't teach that in school.
Yeah.
Because everything in the education system comes from China.
Yes.
Everything came from China. They won the war. Americans didn't need to drop the bomb on Japan.
Yeah, exactly. They defeated
China
the Japanese.
defeated
That's
them
what they get taught.
single-handedly.
Yeah,
And the communists did it, not the nationalists.
No, just the Communist Party is the reason they won. Yeah.
My friend, when I was up in Inner Mongolia, we always used to go get roasted corn, and it was in this big barrel. They had wood in the bottom barrel, and they roast it, right? And when it was freezing cold in the winter, there it was even colder than here, right? We would go downstairs and we would get roasted corn, and it was just something we did. Right?
Yeah.
It's weird because they don't like sweet corn there.
Yeah.
It's like this really mealy cow corn.
Yes.
And we would go there, and every single time the lady roasting the corn would chuckle and say, "Oh, you foreigners eat corn too?" Every time. It's
like-
not that it was just once.
Fritos, my man.
It's like, bro, I'm from the country that runs on corn.
Yeah.
We have diabetes at a disturbing level
Yep.
because we eat so much corn.
Yep.
This is my vegetable.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
This is my grain.
Yeah, that's right.
You
It's
know?
pretty funny.
But she kept asking. I was always polite about
Yeah,
it. but-
obviously. You know what I found really weird in China is you can get corn ice cream.
Yes.
That's
and corn
not-
juice.
Yes, but the corn ice cream is just gross,
Corn
dude.
ice cream sucks.
And they have pea ice cream too. That can be okay.
PEEM.
Yeah. No, PEA.
They
Yeah.
have pea eggs.
Yeah, they have pea eggs. Yeah, where's that? I got it. I'll bring it up.
These are boiled in urine.
Yes.
There's a delicacy in, is it Jiangsu or Zhejiang?
One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on it.
Yes,
You can go
it's a
find
great
it.
one.
Anyway, so apparently the roasted corn is a Chinese invention that you can find around the world now.
And this is in the Louvre, right?
Yeah, and they're showing that there's a Chinese rickshaw basically.
But there is almost nothing Chinese about that
It's definitely it's a made in China one.
So what?
Yeah.
So what? Is that a Chinese invention?
Absolutely not.
A little bike with a thing on the back. You see that everywhere in the world.
Yeah, tuk-tuks and whatnot.
All over South America, Central America.
I mean, if you really wanted to nitpick, you could go back to like motorcycles. Who invented that? Or even a bicycle. Who invented that? When it comes to like internal combustion engines or electricity or batteries, whatever this thing, China didn't invent any of that stuff. So theoretically, it could be a Chinese-made something, but it's not like a Chinese invention.
No.
It's just like, oh, they use our cheap, built version of a tuk-tuk or whatever. Yeah, so, yeah,
老外离开了中国。
What's this?
This is when foreigners leave China, it's like falling out of love, and it's just, I
跟失恋
don't
了
even
一样。
know what it's some guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you pull out? I should have cut the last part out.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Well, either way, you get the idea. So
it doesn't matter. It's just it goes on and on.
Yeah, it does. I'll get out of there. All right. So you get the point of that whole malarkey, don't you? They're basically taking clips out of context to say that foreigners worship China and want to, have the Chinese governance and want to be a part of the party and all that stuff. And it's going viral, and that's currently what's beyond the Great Firewall.
Yes.
It's kind of funny.
It is.
Because most of those clips are actually people mocking China, but
or
they
the
didn't.
Chinese government.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Kim Jong-un, he won like the handsomest man, but it was the Onion. The Onion is like a parody newspaper. So they put out a fake article to say Kim Jong-un wins the most handsome man of the year award. And in North Korea, they thought it was real.
No, in China.
Oh, sorry, in China, yeah. In China, they thought it was real.
And they were like super pumped.
Yeah.
They were like,
exactly.
ran big stories all over state media.
That.
They were like, wow.
Yeah. America really did the
we're
right
proud of
thing.
our ally.
Yeah. Anyway, it's that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's time for us to move on, is it? We're going into worldview. We just finished up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't run the thing for soft power, did I? No. We just kind of went into it, so I'm going to run it anyway. What you've just seen was Soft Power Hour, where we talk about all the way China tries to change your mind, but it turned out that it was actually beyond the Great Firewall.
Yeah, but there was a dual use
technology.
I made spandex out of that one.
Yes, you certainly did. By using the cleanest, most environmentally friendly chemical processes. Yes. Okay. Stop. It's not her fault.
I know.
I don't know why they don't get English like native speakers to do this. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, time for us to move into Worldview, guys, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China. And of course, France is big in the news.
Yeah.
Massive. And we've seen something very interesting happen, in fact. I'm going to bring it up here in a second. I'm just going to wait for it there. Okay. I'm going to show you this little clip. Now, there's this woman, this auntie, a middle-aged Chinese woman. She's in France. We just got to basically let you know she's in France. And she says, let's listen. Okay. So she starts out like, I didn't film you. And he's like, what is this on your phone?
And she sent it as a message.
Yeah, she sent it into a group, which is apparently the Chinese consulate group.
Ah.
Now, she said, I was just filming the entrance to the subway. I'm just filming the DTO, which is the entrance.
You do, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Maybe you want to make a little tourist video, or maybe you just want to like film your trip in France or something, and you want to film some nice thing. But she's trying to say, I'm just filming the entrance. I'm not filming you. Because apparently this woman was following him around, so he confronted her. So let's see, because he actually plays the video on her phone. Let's see. It's like, open it up, I want to see. It's literally following him, it's filming him. Okay? It's just filming him. It's just like, oh, I'm just filming the entrance to the subway.
Yeah.
Okay, now to put some context into this, the guy that she was filming is a known Hong Kong dissident. So, one of those guys that was stand up for freedom, stand up for democracy, stand up for Hong Kong, who lives in France. So she's been following him around all day, apparently, filming everywhere he goes, okay? And he finally confronted her, and her excuse was, I was just filming the DTO call. But he saw on her phone that she had posted these clips of him all over the place into a WeChat group, which he said was like the Chinese consulate WeChat group.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, okay. At least from where I got this from. Said it's the Chinese consulate group. And it's him. And she's filming him walking out. You saw the video. There's no way she was filming she was filming him. Yeah. Anyway, so he called the cops. And she didn't have any ID on her. She didn't have a passport on her. Oh, you see what she's saying? No, I wasn't filming you. I was just filming the entrance to the subway.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Is that the entrance of the subway? He's like, you know. So anyway, here come the cops, and they actually did arrest her.
Oh.
And she's supposed to be standing trial because they wanted to press charges because she couldn't provide identification, and she had been filming him. You know,
Stalking him around.
Yeah, stalking him and filming him. So this is great that they actually caught her.
I like what they've done. I do want to say, France, EU, you can't have Chinese spies harassing Chinese dissidents on your soil.
Yeah.
You got to protect freedom of speech. You have to protect their rights. They fled China for a reason.
Yes.
Do not allow state-sponsored spies to harass these people. And I'm glad that there's going to be some comeuppance here.
Yeah, we'll follow up on this, of course. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Who knows if anything's going to happen to her, but the person that she was filming said that they had a lawyer, they were going to go to the trial, they were going to press charges, all this stuff. Okay, because there's a reason this happened. Xi Jinping has just visited France.
Yeah, which we have.
Yeah, we have. We'll show you in a minute. But just once again to reiterate, here you've got a Hong Kong dissident guy walking around, and a random Chinese auntie is following him, filming him, and posting it to a group.
Which she feels like she can get away with it. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Like there's no air in the air, right?
Yeah.
That says, there's no feeling in the air that says, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should be a little more secretive about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they think that the Chinese government has told this woman, who works for them, obviously.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to, we'll find
Yeah,
out what
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
If this story turns out to be true, there are foreign agents walking around acting like they can do this with reckless abandon because they own the world.
Yeah,
right?
It's no, like, I could just do this.
Yeah.
I love how she tries to pretend it's the freaking subway entrance that she's filming, but when you look at the video, literally follows him, literally filming him. It's like, this is him.
And I'm assuming he noticed this happening prior.
Yeah, no, he noticed that she was following him and other people as well, the whole day, filming wherever he went. And I think the reason is they want to keep tabs on his movements to make sure he doesn't go to try and unfurl a banner like Free Hong Kong or something.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if you whatever, these people, follow them all you want, right? What are you going to do to stop them?
Well, they want to silence them.
But you're in France. What are you going to do? You're just going to piss off more people when this kind of stuff comes out, and more people are going to be inspired to make a stink about it.
Yeah.
It's really bad moves.
Yeah, it's horrible. But, you know, this is the kind of pressure, this is the transnational repression that we talk about.
Yeah.
This is the kind of pressure that China, the Chinese consulate, the Chinese government, and all these people working for them and with them, and they could get students to do it, they could get diaspora to do it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. This is what they do. They pressure these people into silence because they want to control the narrative outside of the borders of China. Now, inside the borders of China, it's very easy.
Yes.
You can stop anyone from doing anything. If somebody wants to unfurl a flag that says Free Tibet or Free Hong Kong, they'll arrest them, disappear them, and their family, make their family, like, put them in line and stuff. They can really control them. But when they're abroad, they can't. So what they try to do is they try to pressure them into silence by doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Following them around,
pestering
them, pressuring them, making them feel like, oh, I better not do anything, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see what actually happened. I love that. Oh, really? Is this the entrance? You're just filming the entrance? Yeah. It's awesome. Anyway, so this is what happened. Xi Jinping came to visit, and we saw these interesting rallies of support pop out again.
These very zoomed in shots.
Yes. Now, this is a bad look for China. Let's be honest. It is a bit of a bad look for them to do this every time. Look at the people that they get to do. They get pensioners, they get diaspora, they get like students. Now we can see the actual scale of this, right? Because it looks massive in the photos. It's not that big.
Because when you zoom it in like that, right?
It's not that big. It's just this little block here. That's it.
Let's be honest. How many people in France are cheering on China? Right?
This is, you see the Global Times, you can see up there is a massive Chinese state media. And they're like, look at this massive support. And it says like, oh, Xi Jinping, welcome, all that nonsense, right? Yay. They try to make it look big by like making a cut, don't they? I mean, okay. Can I just bring this into a little bit of perspective for everyone? Look, there's a woman with a panda, stuffed panda. Everyone's got their little Chinese flag to wave, which they've been given, by the way.
Wave at their dictator.
Yes. Massive Chinese flags. What are you doing in France?
Yeah.
But never mind that. Can you imagine, flip this on its head. Let's say Biden's going to go visit, I don't know, anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where it is. He's going to go visit France. Same thing. Okay. Biden's going to come in for a visit. Do you think that suddenly, like, random American diaspora that live there are going to go and get a stuffed bald eagle?
I'll tell you what would happen. I'm American.
Okay, yeah. What would you do?
I'm living in France.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get a phone call. Okay. 8 a.m. They go, hey, Biden's coming in, right? I go, holy shit. Yeah. I put on red, white, and blue suit.
Yep. Uncle Sam hat.
Uncle Sam hat. I run to my closet. I sprint. I
Yeah.
dive. I've been wanting to use this the whole time. My giant plushie, my stuffed animal of my bald eagle.
Yes.
And I run down with my American flag and I wait at the street and I say, yes. And I hug it tight, my bald eagle. And I look behind me. There's tens of Americans behind me doing the exact same thing. We're all together, united.
Yes.
To greet our president.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. They do this every time. They pay people. They give them free lunch.
They give them incentives.
Yes, some of these people might be legitimately showing up because they absolutely love Xi Jinping, right?
Yes.
But more often than not, we see the WeChat message. We saw this happen in America.
Who printed the banner?
Yeah. They get all this stuff ready, they bust people in, and then they put on a big show for state media, and everyone leaves, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they throw the flags in the trash.
Yeah, we've actually got a picture to show you, because this happened in Hong Kong a lot during the whole thing. Look, there's a trash bag full of the flags that they were handed out. When they're done with it, they're done with it. Because we've got actual footage of when they did that in California, remember?
Yeah.
And they actually had a van where they were handing people the flags and giving them all the
it's just
stuff.
Again, I can't pinpoint anyone that you see in those photos and be like, that's what happened. But we've just seen this happen so many times in other instances, and this is always how it plays out.
Yeah. The stuffed panda, okay? And wave the little flag. Oh, man, it's really actually quite sad.
Yeah.
It is actually quite sad. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with loving your country and all that, and your president, if that's the way you feel, but it's like these organized things, I don't know, man.
Get your eagles out, guys.
Yeah, get your stuffed eagles out next time Biden comes along.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to this is there was some success in protests. In fact, I would say there was way more protesters in action than there were in support.
The Chinese media will not show you, but 3,000 Free Tibet advocates went and did the same thing.
Yes.
A lot more than there were of those people waving the flags.
Nobody told them to.
No, they did it by themselves, yes. And these guys managed to unfurl this big Free Tibet dictator Xi Jinping, your time is up, over his motorcade. You can see that's his motorcade as he was traveling down the highway.
Yeah.
They actually managed to do it just in time before his Hongqi. Did you put the video in?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So, there they are at the PTE Dauphine, whatever that is. Yeah. Now could be Xi Jinping.
Yeah, let's be honest.
The thing is, that's the one he's supposed to be in. Yeah, that's his Hongqi, which is the luxury limo of China. Yeah. This Hongqi. It's just as he's coming under the bridge, and bam. So great timing. Great timing.
Great symbology.
Yeah. This is from the Students for a Free Tibet. I'm blocking the thumbnail. The watermark down there. So Students for a Free Tibet pulled that off. Yay. Peaceful protest. I'm all for that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that was a win.
That was a big dub.
I bet you they didn't show that in Chinese state media.
What do you mean you bet?
They showed that one stuffed panda.
Yeah, there wasn't a whisper of this in China.
No, not a thing. Not a thing. Let's see.
Yeah, why isn't Xi Jinping using EV if people are asking in the chat?
He's worried about it catching fire, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we get the idea here.
Just letting it sink in. I like how they have ambulances there. What's that for? Just in case he has a heart attack?
Yeah.
Too much pork.
I think that's what you do in a motorcade.
Have ambulances? Yeah. Okay.
It's just like part of the display. They really put on a show here.
Yeah, you need something with lights on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was the amount of Free Tibet people that turned up.
Yeah.
Why does it look like it was shot in the 90s? Can they get a better camera?
But let's be honest, that is way more people than were in the pro Xi Jinping line.
Yes. I like how it's like 2024, 05, 05, so it's recent.
Yeah.
But it looks like it was shot in 94.
Well,
Yeah.
can't win them all. Old broadcast cameras.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I love it, but it literally looks like we're looking at like decades old footage here, but it was from like last week.
We promise it's new.
It's brand new. It is brand new. Yeah. Maybe they're just going for that retro vibe.
Maybe.
Anyway, there were Uyghurs in attendance as well.
Yes. A lot of also lots of pro-Chinese, ethnically Chinese pro-democracy activists.
Yes. So it's quite a big effort.
Good turnout.
And this is the kind of thing that the Chinese state media, like we said, won't show. They'll just show that one block of people that all stood there with their flag and panda and whatever.
So some people in I think it was in the chat, maybe this earlier. Anyway, some people were like, what are the chances that she actually saw that sign as he went under there? Probably pretty high.
Yeah, if he was actually in that car, you probably would have seen it.
And he could read English, so he would have seen it.
Yeah.
I think he would have seen it. If he was in any of those cars.
Can he read English?
Yeah.
Oh.
He lived in America for years, didn't he?
I don't know.
When he was Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. I don't know about that.
I don't want to get into this lore.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, maybe he can not read at all. Well, he needs to read his speeches.
I think he can read basic English for sure.
Probably right. Yeah. I mean, he should know the Tibetan flag anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's like, what is this? Oh no. He's already telling his advisors, round them all up. And they're like, sorry, sir, we can't do that here.
And he's like, I don't care.
If you don't round them up, your family is, Yeah.
I'll speak.
It'll be more like,
if you don't, this is what's going to happen to you. And then he Niemens and Niao.
Oh, he goes like this. Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what's going to happen to you. Exactly.
In France, if you don't follow Orion.
Yeah. Okay.
4chan Research Division says Orion. Now I have to explain.
Ryan is his English name.
His English name is Ryan, and that makes us feel very weird.
It's very bad. Because, like when you're an English teacher in China, we've both done it. Your students, they need to get an English name. It's kind of it's just part of the experience, right?
Yeah.
So you help them pick an English name. And sometimes they pick their own names, which can be quite bizarre because they'll pick it based on their Chinese name. So I knew a person called Circle, another person called Fish, a lot of people called Stone.
I knew Pineapple.
Yeah, exactly, that type of
Ring.
thing. But if you've got a good English teacher, they will actually help them find a reasonable
good one,
one that suits them, right? So the guy who apparently taught Xi Jinping English, that's where I got this from. He left a post on Reddit or something a long time ago, and I read it, and he was like, the one person who's privileged to know his English name, Ryan, now you all know it, type thing. So yeah.
Everyone was like, no.
No, Ryan, he doesn't look like Ryan.
Because so many people are named Ryan, now they have to share it with a dictator.
It's like also doesn't suit him, does it?
It's like, think about like Pol Pot, right? No one's named Pol, right? No one's walking around like, shit, I'm also Pol.
Yeah.
P-O-L, right?
Yeah.
But everyone's named Ryan.
Yes, exactly. Anyway. Shit. So for those of you who don't know, on Mondays we run a VIP show, and we wanted to show you what you may have missed if you didn't watch it, if you're not part of it. So let's take a look. She does a U-turn.
That's absolutely insane.
It's terrifying. He misses every time. This is the safest place in the world for this rat.
Whoa! Oh, just separate.
That was actually kind of cool.
Separated.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Yay!
That goes really far down.
What's going on here? Oh well. Now, yes. So that was our Only in China episode. That was this previous Monday.
Yeah, we covered things that would only happen in China.
Yeah.
If you go to patreon.com/ADVpodcast, you get access to our whole other show. So right now you're watching the China show every Monday. Every Monday we have Xiao Ban Ho, which is our other show. We have 2 shows.
Yes.
It's not some behind the scenes.
No, it's an actual
other show with a topic, except we make it fully democratic. We chat with the audience the entire time.
Yep.
We have vote clips. You guys vote on whether we should watch over-the-line clips or not.
Yes.
You vote on every new topic that we cover. There's a lot of lore and a huge community vibe.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Fun. It's a VIP show, so it's a lot smaller. It's a lot more cozy.
Right. When you sign up,
If you have the means.
If you have the means, when you sign up, you're going to get access to the whole backlog. We almost have 100 episodes now. They're all special. They're all amazing. We've done mini documentaries. We've done funny stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
For example, episode 88, we covered the funniest knockoff things in China.
Yeah.
Episode 89, we covered the craziest like drunken antics. We also share drunken stories.
Sure.
Episode 90, we
it's like
shared
useless inventions.
Yes, it's useless inventions. Episode 91, you probably want to find out why Winston is young in this photo.
With a mullet.
Yeah, you're gonna want to watch that episode. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous
there's
episode.
There's another frame here.
Oh, you've got another frame?
Just want to introduce some of the topics so people get an idea.
Okay.
Our last episode, of course, was Old Things That Only Happen in China. Episode 93 was pranks that go too far. A lot of times, pranks in America are different than pranks in China.
Yeah, they're different.
They cross the line.
Yeah.
Episode 94, we went into South African media.
Pop music and all Afrikaans stuff.
Very weird and awesome.
It was really funny. Yeah.
Episode 92, white monkey shows. So they hire non-native white people.
Yes.
Non-native English speakers.
Yeah, exactly.
From Russia or whatever country, Czech Republic, somewhere in Eastern Europe, and then make them make soap operas in English, not their native language.
For China.
Yeah, it's the
very
weirdest
weird
thing, and it's a whole industry.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
We have way more.
Yeah.
But it was very funny.
Yep, we're going to do a part 2 at some point.
This guy is in a bath eating a strawberry because he's waiting for pizza from a pizza woman that he wants to have relations with.
Yes.
But then his wife comes home.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, and she hears something in the bath, like a woman's voice, but he's just watching his phone. He's like, oh, what's wrong?
What's wrong? I'm just eating strawberries in the bath.
By myself.
Yeah. And episode 95 was the funniest ways that Chinese people used to slack off to get off of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely go check it out. Patreon.com/ADVpodcast. I highly recommend it. It's the most fun we have all week.
Yes, and of course, only if you have the means. We'd love to see you there. So hopefully we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah.
All right, time to continue on with the show. Do we have anything else coming here, or is it straight into
Totally Not a Chinese Spy says we actually vote on the content we want to see. And that's actually true. That's a whole part of the show. Is it's a full democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
On Monday. This is a dictatorship on Fridays.
Yes. You just watch what we
Because it's the China show.
Yeah, it's a China show, right? That's why. Anyway, guys, some more worldview.
Yes.
Okay. What do we got?
Quick stuff. So U.S. is now Germany's biggest trade partner. Everyone was doom and gloom about Germany, including us.
Yeah.
We were very worried about the trajectory Germany was taking. They were kind of the one bucking Western Europe's trend of like cozying up to China because so much of their industry relied
like VW
on it,
and
especially
stuff.
VW, especially their auto industry, especially their metal works and things like this, industrial industry. And what happened is that I'll just read it. After years of China being Germany's main trade partner, the U.S. looks like it's quietly taking that top spot as this year progresses. Combined exports and imports between Germany and the U.S. total $63 billion between January and March of 2024, while trade with China came just below 60 billion euros. Germany has adapted its China strategy, urging companies to de-risk from the country last year. And that's something we heard last year. We heard about de-risking. Germany's going to de-risk.
Yes.
Meaning that they can't just like pull the plug, but they have to find alternatives that make Germany a safer economy because China's so unpredictable and it has been so unfair.
Yeah,
right?
very unfair.
And it seems to be working. The diplomatic efforts between Germany and America have been great. We're watching kind of the rest of the world fall in line right now because dealing with China is too risky.
Correct. What do we got next?
Another thing, quickly. These tariffs that we were talking about before, Chinese EVs are very dangerous, as we've talked about multiple times. Not only are they very dangerous, but they're also incredible risks to the U.S. economy because the Chinese government subsidizes all these vehicles, dumps them on the rest of the world, and then the rest of the world can't compete with their own brands. That's unfair trade.
It's very unfair trade. It's against the World Trade Organization rules, but they just flaunt that.
They don't care. So not only was these tariffs set to take off here. Hold on. Not only was it just the tariffs for EVs, it was also Biden is also launching an investigation into Chinese trade practices across shipbuilding, maritime, and logistics sectors, and that could lead to more tariffs. And more importantly, this is also about metal exports and stuff, and imports. The Biden administration has also been pressuring neighboring Mexico to prohibit China from selling its metal products to the U.S. indirectly from there. A big problem that we've had in America is that China's using conduit countries.
Yeah, like surrogates, basically.
Yeah, surrogates to set up different factories and export depots to be able to get sanctioned goods or tariffed goods. and not have to pay those tariffs. And then they go to China or go to America anyway, but they don't say made in China anymore.
Yeah, say made in Mexico, even though they're made in China.
Yeah.
And then they're like shipped to Mexico, and then they just stamp a made in Mexico and send it over the border.
So it looks like we'll see, but hopefully this administration has been pressuring Mexico to not allow that. So hopefully some of those loopholes will be tied up.
I think it's unfair because, made in Mexico, they've put a lot of effort into making that mean something, quality.
Yes, yeah.
And then China comes along and just brings a made in China thing, and now you got a made in Mexico. You're expecting quality, but it's actually a Chinese product. It's not fair. Yeah,
and
let's move on.
The last big news story here was in Serbia. So to counter France, did you notice something?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice something?
What?
In the crowd of France when Xi Jinping's coming to visit. Because remember, Xi Jinping visited France, Hungary, and Serbia.
Yeah.
Okay? It was almost all Chinese nationals.
Yeah.
We suspect a lot of them being incentivized to be there. Right?
Of course. And I mean, just based on experience, we can say with a certain amount of certainty that a large amount of that crowd have been incentivized to be there. They're not there because they want to. And they didn't have to bring their own flags.
No.
They just got given it to them when they're there,
So France, I'm going to say, clean bill of sale.
Okay.
That's fine. France seems like they're dealing with China pretty well, right? There's some other things I won't get into with Macron, but Serbia, let's have a talk. Come here. Can you make me big?
Yeah, sure.
Serbia. We need to talk a little bit, Serbia. All right. I keep getting messages and emails from Serbians, and they're like, listen, I know that our leadership is super tight with China, but you have to understand, us Serbians, right? We don't think this way. We want democracy. We don't want to pair up with China. We want to be part of Europe, right? And I want to believe you, Serbians. And I do believe you. I believe the people that reach out.
Absolutely, yeah.
But when I look at this photo, and when I see those crowds, and I see some of these interviews, I think it goes beyond just the government, my Serbian friends. You guys are getting way too close to China here.
Yeah.
In fact, I would safely say now, if you're a Chinese dissident, I would avoid Serbia like the plague because of how close Serbia has become to China.
I agree.
The president of Serbia is such a sidekick to Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping
the guy
sidekick.
with the weird lips.
Yeah.
Lip man.
Man, sure.
I'm alarmed at how crazy it's fallen. And now I'm seeing Hungary kind of go down the same path, right? There's some weird shit going on in Hungary with cooperation with China right now.
Yeah.
We'll cover it at some point. It's alarming.
So,
but speaking of Serbia, and by the way, I know a lot of you Serbians are absolutely not pro-CCP.
Correct. Obviously
but
not our
the
audience.
turnout looked a little worried.
Here's a problem, though, because of the cooperation with China. Here's one of the things that's happening here, okay? Toxic dust and health crisis, the dark side of Chinese business in Serbia. I'm going to read a few excerpts from this article.
Sure.
Residents describe Radinac, I'm definitely not saying that right, near the city of Smederevo. That's very wrong, but sorry about that.
Sorry, Serbians.
They call it the Red Village due to a persistent layer of red dust that covers homes, vehicles, and playgrounds. A local citizen lamented, there are times of the day when breathing normally is impossible, highlighting the severe impact of daily life. This distressing situation coincides with Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to Serbia, his first since the pandemic began, and a stark contrast from the celebratory atmosphere during his 2016 trip that marked the steel mill's acquisition. Despite the economic benefits touted by both countries, with Serbia and China signing a free trade agreement and heralding a deep friendship, the environmental and health toll on Serbian communities paints a different picture. Health data from the local Smederevo Health Center indicates a startling increase in cancer rates, quadrupling between 2011 and 2019. That's not normal.
Yikes.
Okay?
This is because of a Chinese project.
Because of the steel mill, yeah. While direct causation is hard to prove, many believe this rise is linked to the pollutants emitted by the steel mill. Nikolai Kristik from the NGO said, pollution has soared since the Chinese takeover, citing possible factors like high production rates, technological failures, and regulatory non-compliance. That is the way China operates. Regulatory non-compliance. You have environmental laws that say...
What rules?
Yeah, they're like, do not...
Rules? How come I've never heard of that before?
Exactly. And they're like, do not dump toxic sludge into the rivers. That is a regulation. Yes. China's like, we're going to do that.
We're going to do
anyway.
that, and we're also going to do that in Montenegro.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that?
Exactly. Terrible. And okay, now here's the important part. An independent analysis conducted by this NGO and the National Environment Association in 2021 found high concentrations of arsenic, chromium, and lead in the dust. That red dust that covers everything. All recognized as highly toxic and carcinogenic. These findings underscore the severe risks to public health and the environment posed by the mill's operations. Despite these alarming revelations, local efforts to hold the responsible parties accountable have faced setbacks. A criminal complaint filed against the steel mill was dismissed due to lack of evidence, pushing advocates to consider escalating their fight to the European Court of Human Rights. The situation is emblematic of a broader pattern of Chinese investment in Serbia and the Balkans, where economic incentives often overshadow environmental and health considerations. So, long story short, Chinese company takes over the steel mill, ramps up production, pumping out pollution everywhere. People start getting cancer left, right.
State-owned, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Left and right, people are getting cancer. There's dust over everything, pollutants in the air. It's not good for everyone. They're like, hey, this factory's killing us. And they're like, where's the evidence?
Yeah.
They've
been doing this all over Southeastern Europe.
Yeah.
We've seen massive projects that have gone defunct. Montenegro, Macedonia.
Yeah.
These
destroyed that beautiful river. I did that in my video.
The war monuments.
Yes, they just like, there's a war
Serbia.
monument. They just chopped it down and threw it in the bush.
For China loving Serbia so much, we've seen so much pro-Serbia propaganda in Chinese media, by the way. We forgot to include some.
Yeah.
But for how much they say that they love them, they certainly treat their country pretty poorly.
Well, I mean, look, that's just the way China operates, and most people don't realize that, especially European countries. They're used to rules being followed and regulations being followed. They invite China, and they expect that the Chinese companies and the Chinese government is going to follow rules. They don't. No. That's why China is a toxic wasteland.
Yes.
That's why it is.
That's why China looks like Nal Hutta.
Yes.
Right? If you follow Star Wars.
It's
the Hutts basically polluted their own land so much they had to leave.
Yep.
That's what this is.
And
right?
same with China. Yeah. They polluted their land so much they had to leave. That's why they have all those colonies in Africa and so on.
Yes, the Hutts are the Chinese government. The Chinese government, these are all government projects. This is not like a mom and pop being like, let's set up shop somewhere else. They have not caused issues.
Yeah.
The Chinese government goes, let's set up shop somewhere else and dig the earth, rape the ocean until there's absolutely nothing left, and then bring it all back to China.
That's correct.
It's at that country's expense.
Exactly. That's what's happening. And a lot of countries, it's too late. A lot of Africa has been destroyed already. But, it's just one of those things. When are people going to learn?
Yeah.
When are they going to learn? Anyway.
It's just one of those things.
On that note, we're moving over to our Yamcha segment, which is our Q&A, everybody. This is where we answer your questions and you question our answers. It's Friday, so it's time to relax. It's time to loosen the tie. What's that?
Ryan the Hut.
Yeah, Ryan the Hut. Well, I mean, he is. He's like, oh. You know what I mean? That's him.
Ryan.
If you're not watching us live now, if you're not watching on the weekend, we do cut the Q&A out on Monday. So if you're not sticking around to watch the Q&A.
Find out Patreon.
Yeah. We'll